Welcome to the module on water loading in gas wells. Today we will learn about reasons behind water loading, coning, cement channeling, aquifer encroachment, casing leak, natural fracture, high permeable stake, saturation, solutions, reduce water influx, lift gas and water together, surface water disposal, wellbore separation, lift water to surface separately. Liquid loading is the inability of a producing gas well to remove its co-produced liquids from the wellbore. The liquid flowing as droplets or film accumulates at the well bottom, thereby imposing back pressure and triggering increasingly higher pressure loss in the wellbore. The major cause of liquid loading is low gas flow rate or gas velocity. Typical symptoms of liquid loading include sharp drops in the cumulative production decline curve, the onset of liquid slugs in the surface facilities, abrupt changes in the flowing pressure gradient, low temperature spikes at the wellhead and declining water production or condensate gas ratio. Reasons behind water loading: water coning and gas coning, encroachment of gas from the gas cap and water from the water aquifer into the oil producing zone. There's expense to lift, dispose or re-inject produced waters, as well as the capital investment in surface facility construction and to address other environmental concerns. Cement channeling, it occurs when the cement is emplaced and the casing is pressurized. When pressure is released after the cement has set, the casing pops away from the cement sheath. This generates a gap or microannulus between the casing and the cement. Aquifer encroachment, water encroached into one structurally high drilling spacing unit even before the well was drilled and placed on production. The mechanics of this water movement have been confirmed during 2 reconditioning operations and by the production performance of wells. It has been found that a watered-out well can be made to produce water-free gas by recompleting lower in the same continuously porous interval. Casing leakage, a casing leak can lead to sustained casing pressure, leaks into a formation that should be isolated, or in some cases even loss of circulation if the leak is big enough and the formation cannot hold the hydrostatic pressure. Natural fracture, it is a crack or surface of breakage within rock not related to foliation or cleavage in metamorphic rock along which there has been no movement. A fracture along which there has been displacement is a fault. Natural fractures show a great variety in their morphology, roughness, permeability, connectivity, and deformability. This variety affects drilling in naturally fractured formations by making it difficult to predict the occurrence and severity of mud losses. High permeable stake, the modeling of the high permeability streaks became possible after extensive revamping of the reservoir rock type model, updating well descriptions, and a detailed zonal mapping of the high permeability streaks and dolomitic zones. The aerial and vertical model resolution was doubled over the previous models to accommodate the internal sublayering of the upper 4 reservoir zones, in order to capture the thin, 1.4 feet, high permeability streaks. Saturation, fluid saturation is how much each fluid is present in pore spaces of the rock. This will affect the ability of each fluid flow through porous media. Fluid saturation is expressed in terms of volume of fluid divided by total pore space. The problem lies with developing an approach for determining the increase in the average water saturation in the swept area as a function of cumulative water injected, or injection time. Solutions: reduce water influx. Cement squeeze. It is a remedial cementing operation designed to force cement into leak paths in wellbore tubulars. The required squeeze pressure is achieved by carefully controlling pump pressure. Squeeze cementing operations may be performed to repair poor primary cement jobs, isolate perforations, or repair damaged casing or liner. Recompletion. Recompletion means an operation whereby a completion in one zone is abandoned in order to attempt a completion in a different zone within an existing wellbore. Polymer treatment. Polymers are used to coagulate suspended solids and produce large curds of solid materials, floc. Should be diluted with water up to 0.5% concentration prior to application. Mixer. Polymer is added with an adductor and funnel. Most dry polymers require 1 to 4 hours of solution aging. Resin-based powders. Resin-based powder coating determines coating performance like flexibility, toughness, chemical and corrosion resistance. The resin design defines the outdoor durability, the curing schedule, as well as the physical and chemical stability of correspondent powder coatings. Lift gas and water together. Venting or blowdown or swabbing. Blowdown is referred to venting of gas accumulated in equipment, process facilities, oil production wells etc. Wellhead compression. Wellhead compression, WHC, is the solution by which a compressor acts locally over one or a number of wells. In this way, the back pressure for a number of selected wells can be reduced. Plunger lift. It is an artificial lift method principally used in gas wells to unload relatively small volumes of liquid. An automated system mounted on the wellhead controls the well on an intermittent flow regime. When the well is shut in, a plunger is dropped down the production string. Gas lift or chamber lift. Gas lift is a method of artificial lift that uses an external source of high-pressure gas for supplementing formation gas to lift the well fluids. The principle of gas lift is that gas injected into the tubing reduces the density of the fluids in the tubing, and the bubbles have a scrubbing action on the liquids. Soap or surfactant injection. The addition of the alkali increases pH and lowers the surfactant adsorption so that very low surfactant concentrations can be used to reduce cost. The alkaline flooding method relies on a chemical reaction between chemicals such as sodium carbonate and sodium hydroxide, most common alkali agents, and organic acids, saponifiable components, in crude oil to produce in situ surfactants, soaps, that can lower interfacial tension. Velocity string. A small diameter tubing string run inside the production tubing of the well as a remedial treatment to resolve liquid loading problems. Installing a velocity string reduces the flow area and increases the flow velocity to enable liquids to be carried from the wellbore. Surface water disposal. Same well water disposal. A disposal well is often a depleted oil or gas well, into which waste fluids can be injected for safe disposal. Dedicated disposal well. Slurry is mostly disposed of by pumping it into dedicated disposal well. Transport off-site. The separation of oil from brine solutions can be by induced air flotation. Oil drop and air bubble diameters, liquid residence time, and concentration of cationic polyelectrolyte were the most significant variables affecting overall flotation performance. Wellbore separation. Gravity separation. Most oil treating equipment relies on gravity to separate water droplets from the oil continuous phase, because water droplets are heavier than the volume of oil they displace. However, gravity is resisted by a drag force caused by the droplets' downward movement through the oil. Induced separation. The separation of oil from brine solutions can be by induced air flotation. Oil drop and air bubble diameters, liquid residence time, and concentration of cationic polyelectrolyte were the most significant variables affecting overall flotation performance. Lift water to surface separately. Electrical submersible pumps, ESP. It is an efficient and reliable artificial lift method for lifting moderate to high volumes of fluids from wellbores. These volumes range from a low of 150 BD to as much as 150,000 BD, 24 to 24,600 meters cubed by D. Progressing cavity pumps, PCP. It is a cost-effective form of artificial lift that simplifies production and withstands erosive attack. Progressing cavity pumps, PCPs, displace fluid by transferring it through a sequence of small, discrete cavities formed from the turning of a helical rotor within a stator. These pumps are not only efficient in pumping viscous and abrasive fluids but are easily customized to produce liquids of varying temperatures, pressures, flow rates and solids content. Hydraulic jet pump. Hydraulic jet pumps are a proven means of artificial lift that have been used for generations in the production of oil and gas. Normally they are utilized for high-volume initial production and well unloading with high rates as an alternative to gas lift systems or electric submersible pumps, ESPs. Rod pump. Rod pumps are the most common form of artificial lift for oil wells. Today, these systems are used to lift formation fluids from more than 600,000 wells. A rod pump system consists of a prime mover, a surface pump, a sucker rod string, and a downhole pump. Thank you for learning with us.